Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by, spending part of your day with me. All of us over here at the YouTube channel. My moderator should be joining here anytime, wherever it is you call home, whether it be morning or afternoon. Welcome aboard. I've got some interesting things I want to share with you guys in this video. Something that's occurred here in the last just 96 hours, 4 days. There's been 3 unusual incidents, and you're looking at one of the incidents. This is a still image from some very shocking video footage that was captured by a highway camera of this plane for unknown reasons, just literally coming down out of the sky, landing in that lane of traffic, almost landing on top of a car or two. We're going to take a look at that shocking video footage here in just a second. Also have a comment update. I've got several updates to share with you guys. We're going to revisit the unusual location yesterday down in South America that we talked about. May have found some new information. Well, actually have found some new information regarding what looked like a giant totem pole. But first, over here at the homepage of the website, today's super cool photo sent in by Holly S. out of Miami Beach, Florida. This is a sunset from yesterday, and you can see a little bit of haze over there on the horizon. That's probably from the Sahara sand that's making the 4,000-mile journey across the Atlantic Ocean. Here's a look at it. This is today's view. We'll take a closer look at it later on this afternoon. But the Sahara sand, it's not actually sand. It's dust particulates, but man, they make a mess of things. And here in the next couple of days, these sunsets and sunrises, especially from Florida, Southeast Florida, in fact, all along the coastal Florida regions, you'll be able to see probably through that what that creates is pink sunrises. Sometimes purple, just depending on the density of the Sahara wave. But like I said, I'd rather deal with a foot of snow than that sand. Man, oh man. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Once again, wherever it is you call home. We do have a quick update on the ancient time traveler, is what I call it. They call it 3I, capital I, because it's the third time that this has happened in modern times. And here's a new update. This is this guy is an excellent, I mean excellent, probably one of the best in the world. Michael Jaeger out of Austria. He dialed in on the object. I'm still not 100% convinced that it's a comet, but right there it is. Look at that. That's almost as good as Hubble. And this guy doesn't have Hubble. He's got like a 14-inch telescope. He's just very, very talented. There it is again, but it's not looking anything at all like this. Granted, it's farther away from the sun. I get that, but we should see some kind of a tail, right? We're not seeing any type of a tail yet. This is just further confirmation that this thing is more of a dense object that's on some sort of a... They're saying that the course that it's taking through the inner solar system was almost as if it was a predetermined course, because it's going by Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and it's trying to kind of stay hidden from the Earth. Like it doesn't want to be seen by our instruments over here at the Earth, or on Earth. So very fascinating times. We're going to be watching this for the next several weeks, all the way into October and November, as long as we can. It should become more visible here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but there's the latest and the greatest of whatever this is traveling through the inner solar system. It's an interstellar traveler, and keep in mind, guys, this is from a different star. That could very well have a different type of atomic structure. Yeah, I mean, this is really, really unique stuff. So keeping a close eye on that. But again, I'm not so sure it is a comet. I wanted to take you guys, where are we at here? Oh yeah, back down here to South America. Pardon me, guys, for my voice. It's early in the morning. It's not necessarily early in the morning, but that's just the way it rolls sometimes in the morning. Okay, this area here, there was a little bit of a mirroring effect. I call it a dual effect, whatever. however you want to describe it. But this totem pole looking feature down here on the surface, this is down here in southern South America, by the way, for those of you that didn't see it yesterday. Way down here in between South America and Antarctica, right? Mysterious part of the Earth anyway. This just made it even more mysterious. What do we have going on here? Where did it go? Went right. And now I can't find it. We'll find it. Hold on. Shouldn't have backed out. Well, we'll have to come back to it. Right there's a big square looking thing. But anyway, I wanted to show you an image that was sent in by Winona. And we'll go back to the area here through a still image. There's an effect called a mirroring effect, and you can take two sides and put them side by side, split it in half, and then flip them over, and it makes some sort of unique feature sometimes. Doesn't always work out that way, but there does seem to be some sort of a mirroring effect that occurred down here, deliberately or by accident. I don't know, but if you want to look real close, you can see the mask that I showed yesterday and the what looks like a totem pole. Well, over here on the left, you can see what looks like the right-hand side of that mask. And then the mirroring effect creates the left-hand side, and then it creates what we see here, one complete, what looks like a mask or even a face, however you want to interpret that. It looks like some sort of artwork, right? It looks very weird. Then you go up a little bit higher, and you can see half of this part of the totem pole over here as well. So somehow they mirrored, and that's called the mirroring effect, the dual effect. And then over here you can see the left side of the smaller object right there. So these things may or may not be there. I know it's a little pixelated because I'm zoomed in on this picture, but right over here is one side of it. How this all got discombobulated and mirrored like that to form these, I mean, they're actually quite interesting, very fascinating features that showed up on Google Earth. It's a bit of a mystery, but if they're there, up here and down here. We talked about that in yesterday's video, and I just wanted to touch base and offer some clarity on what, oh, there it is right there. What maybe could have, right there. This is at the 553238 south, 691556 west. Right there it is. That is almost eerie looking, right? So there may be some sort of explanation for that. Don't know, guys, but that was shared with me, or shared to me by a subscriber a couple of days, or yesterday, in fact. And speaking of subscribers, if you haven't subscribed, by all means, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I think I have it set to where, hey, Peter Shell, welcome to the Star Family. Peter Shell is a Star Family member. And guys, by all means, super chats are always welcome, and you can send as many as you like. I don't think there's any limit. I have to double check on that. There's one right there. Celia, first super chat of the day. Thank you, Celia. Really appreciate that. Make sure you become a Star Family member. It's pennies a day. The link's at the top of the chat. Celia, thanks again. You're the first super chat of the day. And once again, guys, you can send as many as you like. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, I want to show you guys something real quick. We've been talking about this for, oh my goodness, several days now. Clicking on the link here that says Yellowstone, this normally takes us to the supervolcano caldera seismographs. And we watch the seismographs very close because, once again, the supervolcano is a big deal, right? So we want to keep track of what's going on there. That's just part of what we do. Still no activity. What's going on? We can't see what's going on at the supervolcano there or at the University of Utah seismographs. Both areas still, for whatever reason, not sharing any data. Again, could be maintenance issues or something like that, but typically if they're going to have scheduled, especially scheduled maintenance issues, and normally that type of stuff is, they will let you know in advance, hey, we're going to be offline for a day, 24 hours, 6 hours, whatever the case may be. That wasn't the case this time. So it creates a bit of a conspiracy, a bit of a mystery, because there's a lot of earthquake activity going on right now in the northern hemisphere, and we're kind of lacking our ability to track some of this earthquake energy. And those seismographs have a of a unique way of telling a story. I've tracked energy across the United States on the seismographs from the East Coast to the West Coast that was not earthquake originated or influenced by an earthquake. It was a mystery type of a pulse that you can find all kinds of stuff. That's how they understood and learned about the center of the earth, was from seismograph activity, Tony. I want to take you guys now to the very, whoop, there's the emails working. What we started the video off with, that was a shocking still image of something that occurred. This has occurred now 3 times in 96 hours. And I will start with this one because it's the most recent. This one just occurred today, just a few hours ago. 49 passengers on this plane right here that disappeared in the Amur region in the far eastern Russia. They don't know what happened. Fairly good sized plane just a few hours ago just disappeared, going from eastern Russia over to northern Italy. This is where the dramatic footage comes in. This is sad. We don't like to see this, but for some reason, there's been an increase in airplane incidents, and these aren't the only 3. There was another one that occurred in Bangladesh. So there's actually been 4 in 96 hours. 2 people perished in this incident in northern Italy. And here's the shocking footage over here at caliber.az. I want to share this with you guys. As the airplane narrowly missed a couple of cars on the freeway. One car stopped and backed up and went into reverse as the plane landed right in front of his vehicle. Northern Italy, 7:23. And that car right there drove right through, had no choice, drove through the flames and stuff. That is so sad. What's causing an airplane on a perfectly fine day? There's no storms. You don't see any lightning or anything like that. It's 2025. Our technology has improved exponentially, just over the last 10, 15, 20 years. Why now all of a sudden are we seeing so many airplanes do this? We've seen many examples of this in 2025. Not just a few, several. And one's too many. We don't want to see one. This was captured by a highway camera here that monitors both lanes of traffic. You can see this vehicle over here on the right. He stopped, put it in reverse, and backed up. Obviously, very confused as to why an airplane fell out of the sky on a busy highway in northern Italy. And the next one that I'm going to show you happened over here in the US. And with regard to the location, the latitudes were just 3 degrees apart and 24 hours apart. Here's another view from a different camera. And notice the car right there. It missed this car by a mere 15 feet from landing directly on the car. Look at that. Landed right in front of the car. We saw the opposite direction as the car drove through the incident. There it came out right there. Narrowly missed the car. I mean, what a terrible, that is shocking. That is absolutely shocking footage. Nobody knows what happened. I mean, is it another example of dirty electricity got into the electrical components? Why does a plane just fall from the sky like that? And the conditions that day were fine. Should have been no problem at all. Again, that happened over in northern Italy less than 20, right around 24 hours ago. 2 people on board that plane. Coming over here to the US, again, this has happened 4 times actually in the last 96 hours. 2 people on this small plane near Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's actually up in Lowell, Michigan. I had a Google Earth. In fact, I'll take you guys there real quick. We'll go to Lowell, Michigan. And with regard to the latitudes, it was 3 degrees off from the Italy incident. So here's where this next incident occurred that I'm getting ready to share with you guys in Lowell, Michigan. If you go around the globe, the other incident occurred right there. They were almost in the same exact latitude. Not that that has anything to do with it. It's just another strange coincidence. Small aircraft crashed into a storage facility in or near Lowell, Michigan on Monday, according to officials. So we've had incidents on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And there was another event that occurred in Bangladesh, I believe, on Tuesday. So that would make 4 total. The incident occurred around 4:30 p.m. In Virginia's Township, just outside the Lowell Airport. According to the sheriff's office, the aircraft landed on several storage units, as you're going to see here. More unbelievable, very just shocking footage. And here we go, courtesy of Ryan Harrington. Watch that. You'll see the plane at the top of your monitor. Again, another nice day, nothing going on. And it just lands on top of a storage facility. What in the world? Here it is in slow motion, slightly zoomed in. Wow. That is just unbelievable. So this one almost looks like we're trying to analyze what happened here. The plane in Italy was doing a nosedive. It was going straight down. This one here, the difference is it looks like the same type of plane, a small Cessna type of a plane. This one here, you can see that maybe the pilot was trying to turn to maybe make an emergency landing, and it just didn't work out. They ended up landing in the storage facility there. So again, 4 that we know of this type of incident that have happened in 96 hours. What is going on? I don't know, guys. It's way more than a coincidence, I believe, and something that we've been watching all year long. Remember the incident in Pennsylvania near Philadelphia? There was an incident in Portland. Those are just 2. The incident in near Philadelphia also involved a very busy road, and the incident in the Portland area involved apartment complexes. And there was another incident, I believe, in Minnesota, where a plane landed directly on a house. Wow. Speaking of wow, have you guys seen any type of this in your part of the world? This was shared with me yesterday, sent in by Dude the Road Warrior out of Norfolk, United Kingdom. And they just noticed this within the last 2 or 3 days. So they noticed something on the hood of their car and on the windshield of their car, okay? Check this out, it gets interesting. They aren't used to seeing this type of activity in the skies, but on that particular day, there was that type of activity in the sky. But they noticed this on I don't know if these were some sort of vines, but it was the leaves. Have you guys noticed this? Anybody else in the chat noticed this? Any type of unusual, almost looks like they have some sort of issue going on, right? But they're trying to figure out what happened to I don't know if these are grapevines or what's going on here. But look at the leaves. We were talking about this the other day. Somebody was talking about biological things in the ecosystem. We've had like weird pumpkins and weird tomatoes, weird sunflowers. Is this another example of that? Notice the leaves over there on the left, how they look almost contaminated or something. Look at that. Isn't that weird? And they don't know what's causing it. They don't know if it's something airborne. Every once in a while, I'll get photos and even videos of weird things like this involving leaves or trees or plants, things that just don't look normal. And that definitely doesn't look normal. Absolutely not. And then, as you're going to see, they sent me 3 or 4 pictures, and then you're going to see some where it looks like right there, whatever that stuff was, literally turned into holes, went right through the leaves. Other than that, they look perfectly healthy, right? They're nice and green. Then turns into this. Some sort of weird contamination. I don't know, guys. Have you guys seen anything like this in your part of the world? Maybe this is just exclusive to the northern UK region. I don't know. I found that highly unusual, so I wanted to pass it on to you guys, because if anybody knows, the chat knows. The chat is where it's at. So yeah, very weird photos coming out of northern United Kingdom. Can't get you guys updated, but what's up with the planes, guys? You know, that's something that, again, has been going on for the entire year, all of 2025, off and on. It seems like it's sporadic, but there's been more in 2025 than I can ever remember in one single year, and we're only halfway through 2025, and I don't remember this many ever. Collectively, it's just not good. Something's up. I don't know if these airplanes are running into a pocket of something that causes their equipment to malfunction, like the plane in Italy. You know, it was coming straight down as if it lost all power. So it almost looked like it had some sort of an electrical malfunction. The plane in Michigan, it didn't look like it lost the ability to steer and navigate, but it was obviously had some problems. But you could see the pilot was trying to turn and maybe land on the road, as if something malfunctioned. Obviously something malfunctioned. It's not good. Okay, looking at Mount Rainier, I wanted to give you guys a quick update, because when we were talking about Rainier at the beginning of the week, I believe it was over the weekend, the total, the 30-day total was 800. Look at the total now. 1,000. Is this why? Is it connected to maybe what the reason why we don't have access to all of our normal seismographs? That's up 200. So the intensity is increasing at Mount Rainier. I don't know. It again, it's kind of coincidental. I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. Some of the seismographs are working. These are updated. These are today. Not too much activity on these seismographs. These are across the globe, the ones that we do have access to. But as you scroll down to the bottom of the page, as you can clearly see, there are more that aren't working than are working. So again, that's a little mysterious, but not unheard of. Sometimes these things don't work for whatever reasons, you know. Here's the ones across the US. July 24th, this has just been updated. You can see the one here in Wyoming at Fox Creek, offline, doesn't work, and the one at Indian Meadow, not putting out any data. Could be just a coincidence, I don't know. The one here at Flag Ranch is showing some highly unusual signatures, but I will say, in its defense, it's been doing this for about 4 years. So I don't know if it's just the personality of the seismograph, or if the ground is literally, you know, moving like that. I think that one is very much a seismograph technical issue. I really do. Now these other ones, they seem to be working fine. You can see the data. Here's like one of these pulses that I saw. This one's in Troy, New York. See that blip on the radar, if you will? It's not radar. It's obviously a seismograph. But I tracked one of those one time from Maine all the way across the country, east to west, to Washington. And each time it was in a different column. And each column represents 10 minutes. That's a 10-minute block. That's a 10-minute block. That's a 10-minute block. Each line represents 30 minutes in this case, but an hour total. If you combine the two, I believe they're in 30-minute increments. No, they're in hour increments. Yeah, each line represents an hour. This is a 24-hour screen you see right here. And I followed it all the way across the country. And it wasn't an earthquake. It was some sort of a pulse, as if the earth felt something all across the country, and this pulse went through the US. I don't know what's going on here in Nevada. That is wild and wacky. Are you serious? What is going on in Elko, Nevada? Holy moly. That is literally off the charts. Wow. That's not an earthquake. That's not earthquake activity. I know there's mining that goes on up there, but that would be on an entirely new level. Maine, I don't know what's going on here either. That's not an earthquake. So maybe this is too close to the ocean. Peaks Kenny State Park, I don't know where that's at, but I'm just trying to think of logical explanations as to why it would be jet black. Normally, these things don't go jet black unless there's been a very large, significant earthquake near the seismograph, and that will turn the I've seen them all jet black when we saw the large earthquake over in Japan. That's just one example that I can remember when all of the seismographs all around the world looked like that for about 3 days. The whole earth just shook with the primary wave energy and then the secondary wave energy, and it went on the whole earth. They said that the tilt of the earth shifted just a little bit, more than likely from the tsunami and the big shift of water. The water weight is very significant, and a lot of times it goes overlooked regarding earth events and things like that. So water weight is in fact a very big deal. Hi everybody, there's Sandy Davis. What's up, Joey? RK's got the number 2 crown. Everybody doing good today? Hope so. And guys, don't forget about the super chats or the super stickers. I haven't seen any dancing pears today. Are there dancing pears in there? Those are always fun. Look at the sand. Here we go. Now, you guys in the southeastern U.S. and in the southern Gulf, the Gulf states, this is what's coming. It will be there. Look how close it's getting to Florida. This is the good old Sahara sand. Look at that. It's already swarmed over the Bahamas. What? So people that are there on vacation are getting their breakfast bagels sprinkled with Sahara dust free of charge. Look at that. Yeah, right there. If they're eating their breakfast outside. Ah, yummy. Gotta love it. And this will go on all summer long. Oh yeah, this is great. And they're talking about the possibility of a tropical disturbance forming out here. And guys, I don't know how that's going to happen. We'll see. If it does, it would be I would be quite surprised. I don't know how a tropical disturbance is going to form in that much dry air. There's probably a 1% chance of it forming, but we'll see. We're keeping an eye on this area. If it does form, it should start forming tonight into tomorrow. I'll keep you guys updated, but it'll head towards the Caribbean. If it materializes into anything, trust you me, we're going to be watching this like a hawk. I honestly don't think it's going to do much, but I just wanted to let you guys know there is a chance of something forming out there. Again, I don't see how it's going to ever turn into too much of anything, but stranger things have happened, right? Yes, they have. There's also talk of another system forming, maybe in the Caribbean, but again, we'll have to wait and see because the air's super dry and there's wind shear out there, and the wind shear and dry air are two of the primary things that hurricanes and tropical storms do not like. They have to have warm water, the sea surface water, and they've got plenty of that, especially once they get over here into the Caribbean Sea and places like that. There's all an abundance of warm water. But the wind shear, no. Dry air, especially that type of dry air, no, they just don't normally form in those types of environments. And I don't anticipate anything, at least with regard to that perspective. And then the models that I use, I went 5 days. I'm not going to go beyond 5 days. They're all in agreement that there shouldn't be any activity the next 5 days. So we'll just stick with that, see what happens in the next 24 hours. Absolutely. What's going on, RK? S. Lee? Dale Jewell? Is it hot in your part of the world? I know yesterday I was asking people, I couldn't believe how hot it was in some places. Like in Illinois, the humidity made it feel like 120 or something in parts of Illinois. Andrea, no hurricanes. Yay! No hurricanes. We're good for the time being. That's always a good sign. We don't want to see hurricanes. Eagle Mad Hatter is number 1. Sahara dust thick, no tropical storms. Exactly, see the whole truth. That goes hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. If there's that dust plume out there, there's not going to be any hurricanes form, at least out there. That's for sure. In fact, I'll take you guys back to it right there. No way. It just simply can't. The laws of physics won't allow it. It will not form. These things, tropical storms and hurricanes are finicky. They have to be in perfect climates and they like a certain environment because they like to reach up into the upper, lower atmosphere. They like to stand tall, you know, and the taller they get, the stronger they get. That's a lid. That's a cap over the Atlantic Ocean. Storm can't go up through that. And not only that, the wind shear would tip it over. They don't function at an angle. They become very dysfunctional, and then they disappear. And another thing, a hurricane, when it forms, they can't form at the equator. It's impossible. It's called the Coriolis effect, but they form above the equator, or used to down here, and this is called the main development region. But with the presence of all the Sahara dust, they're not going to form there. That's the non-development region these days. But when they did form there, sometimes they would travel like Irma back in 2017, all the way across the 4,000-mile journey. Hurricane Irma was a Category 5 for 10 days out here because the environment was literally perfect for hurricanes. This, no, not going to happen. No way. That is about as imperfect for a hurricane as there ever was. My goodness. So no hurricanes there, that's for sure. So no worries, guys. If you're along the East Coast or in Florida, Texas, the Florida Panhandle, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Carolinas, should be good. Everything's looking good for the next 5 days, with the slight exception of maybe something developing, but I really don't look for it. Really don't look for it. Good to see everybody here. 95 in West Texas. Thank you for the report. 105 in Michigan. Feel like. Oh, thank you, Chris Wood. Give you a big thumbs up for that. Chris Wood, thank you for the super chats. Appreciate it, guys. Guys, you can send as many super chats as you like. We'll call this the super live. Send super chats. Keep them coming. Oh, you know what that was? That was an email. Somebody sent in a picture. Thank you, Chris Wood. Looks like you got 2 up there, huh? Right on. You got the #1 gifter badge, or you got the purple crown. There you go. Thank you, Chris Wood. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, the South America. Touched base on they're calling it a comet still. I don't think it's a comet, guys. I really don't. But as it dives closer, you know, into and what's really cool about this thing, and it is cool, no joke. I want to show you guys something real quick. I know I mentioned it yesterday. Where is my handy dandy? Right there. The white line you see right there, that's the interstellar traveler. That again could have a completely different atomic structure. What? Yes, it comes from a different star. It's coming in like an airplane would, at flying horizontally, or a helicopter. That alone is super mysterious. And the path that it's taking right through here, going by Jupiter, Mars, Venus, for that to happen coincidentally, by accident, the percentage would be less than a half of a percent, 0.005%. But it's doing it. It's doing it. Yes, it is. And coming in horizontally. No way. But it is. Absolutely it is. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun real quick. Here we go. Looking at some sunspots turning towards the Earth, but nothing major. We've got some way down here deep in the southern hemisphere. To be honest, that's quite unusual. Usually, active regions and sunspots are just above and just below the equatorial region of the sun, right across the center. Not way down there. That is like way out of bounds. Can it happen? Yes, obviously it can. But why is it happening, you know? Something is influencing the sun down there, causing these sunspots deep in the southern hemisphere like that. So if there were, which there probably won't be because they're way too small, and they don't have the necessary components to create an X flare, but let's just say if that were to create an X flare, Earth wouldn't even be impacted by it because the energy would be going downward. Earth is up here, the energy would be going this way. It would be going away from the Earth. So, yeah, I mean, there's a possibly a larger area back here in the southeastern limb of the sun area that we can't see just yet. But in the next day or two, we'll be able to see that region and know what's coming. But right now, the solar flux, which you can see right here, has increased to 150. The reason it's increased to 150 is because of the presence of the new sunspots in active regions. That's the total solar output, and it increases as the sunspot activity increases, especially Earth-directed. So that's why that number went up over here at the homepage of the website. And if you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, a very easy way to do it is click on this tab right here. This is, by the way, the homepage of the website, MrMBB333.com. Look for this red tab right here that says have a large video. Click on that. In fact, we'll do it together. Let's do it. Click on the red tab. Takes you to the drop box. This is the first thing I check every morning. I get up, have a cup of coffee, check the drop box. That's just how I roll. So you can drag and drop videos in there, but the thing of it is, at the top of your video or picture, where there's a number at, it'll have a specific number. Take and just highlight it blue and put your name, date, and location, and then put it in the drop box. And I've had people send 2-hour long videos, and then that's fine. It'll handle it. So it's a lot easier sometimes than trying to attach a large video to the email. Emails are always welcome. The email address is reports@mrmbb333.com. You can also send videos if they'll attach. Sometimes the smaller videos will. The bigger videos, if you're not having any luck, drop them in the Dropbox. That was an email somebody just sent in. I need to turn that down. Thank you very much. But yeah, you can send videos and or pictures to reports@mrmbb333.com. That's where this photo came from right here, out of Miami Beach, Florida. And I'll feature a photo on here every day. I change it. I keep a photo up every 24 hours. So if you send in a really cool photo, I'll put it on the homepage of the website for 24 hours and give you a big shout out. That's how we roll. Speaking of shout outs, the latest and greatest is Chris Wood. Thank you, Chris Wood, for the super chats. Love it. You guys are super kind. Really appreciate that. Who's got the next super chat? Anybody got the red super chat, the yellow super chat? We've seen green. I don't think we've seen blue yet. Haven't seen yellow yet. We try to get through the rainbow of colors, or at least the colors that we have to choose from. And then, of course, yo, dancing pears. 76% humidity. Oh, my goodness. That's a lot of humidity. You know, when the humidity gets up to above 10% out here in Arizona, especially if it's 100, it feels like it's about 130. We're not used to humidity out here. So we can have a 114-degree day and the humidity be, say, 5. Honestly, as weird as it may sound, it's not that bad. I mean, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time out in 114-degree heat, but it's that humidity that makes the feel like temperature so they call it, I believe they call it air you can wear. That's just an old saying that goes along with very thick, humid air. Thick, humid air. There's a super chat right there from Party Starters. Thank you, Party Starters. Thumbs up for Party Starters. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's an old saying that meteorologists, they'll use that term from time to time when it's real humid, especially in the summer months in the northern hemisphere. Air that you can wear. That's super humid, and that usually means that the dew point's getting up there above 65, 70, in the 70 range. That's usually a very good indication that it is getting ready to rain. That's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. It's the moisture content in the atmosphere, and when you walk outside, that humidity just makes you just wringing wet. I remember those days. I lived in Florida for several years, and it was humid down there, especially during the summer months. Not as humid as, well, yeah, probably as humid as Louisiana. Louisiana's the same way. Very, very humid there. Yeah, and I think today, where are we at today? You know what, guys? I got to do the UV reading. I got my phone setting here to remind me daily UV reading, so I got to take the UV here in 7 minutes. I was going to show you guys the temperature. Oh, it's not bad at all. My goodness. I say not bad, right? 100 degrees, and it's almost noon. What's the humidity at? Yeah, let's look and see. Air quality 58. UV is showing extreme, which is, that's 11. That's, honestly, that's probably what I'll get. I'm gonna go out and measure here in just a few minutes. Humidity 11. So it's gonna feel a little hotter than 100, but sometimes this time of year, especially this late into July, it's not uncommon to have temperatures of 110, 112, 114. So that 100 looks very nice, you know. We don't like the 114s, but unfortunately, that's just part of living in a desert, right? It's gonna be hot, it's gonna be dry. So we can't complain because January, February, March, November, December, those months are, you couldn't custom order better weather. You really couldn't. But boy, you pay for it during the summer because it is brutally hot. Brutally hot. Southern Illinois, Joey, yeah, Southern Illinois is hot and humid right now. Yes, it is. I'm just looking at the chat. I've got the chat going over here, guys. Thank you guys for the super chats. Once again, you can send as many as you like. I do appreciate it, Bob. I really do. They're fun. It makes the whole experience more fun, and it's cool to see them come through. Hello, G Stone from Arkansas. 94 degrees in Missouri, Ladybug Sarah. Thank you. That's hot. That is very hot. It's almost as hot as it is out here in Arizona. Yes, it is. A voice in the desert. Brian Murray. What's up, Brian? Okay, guys, I've literally got fun. There's another super chat. There you go. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Who's that? Peter Shell. Oh, thank you, Peter. Really appreciate that. Let me give you a like ski over here. Got 5 likes going on already, and you just put that up there. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate the super chat. We've gotten green and yellow now. Green and yellow. We like to get through all the colors, at least, you know. That's always fun. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Peter took yellow. Who's got the orange? Who's got the orange? You got the orange and red. Who's got orange and red? Come on, guys. I know you can do it. Who's got the orange and red? And then I'm going to go do the UV reading, and we'll see what the UV is out here in AZ. We detected yesterday trace amounts of UVC, but as long as it stays trace amounts, you know, I don't want to, you know, start any conspiracies or anything like that. But yeah, I did get a 3 or a 0.03 yesterday, which is a trace amount in milliwatts. You can measure the UV in milliwatts or microwatts. The microwatts is going to show you a little bigger number, even though it's the same. I always measure in milliwatts so that it's consistent with the National Weather Service. So my friend up in British Columbia, Abbotsford, Darren, he's been sending me readings. And the last reading I got from him was a 12 up in Abbotsford, British Columbia at the 50-degree north latitude. That's extreme UV. And it shouldn't, oh, there's Team Alaska. Yay, there's the orange. You got the orange and the yellow. Thank you, Team Alaska. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for 15 years. I'm living in Alaska now. Oh, that's got to be so nice. I know it gets cold in the winter, but compared to the 114 and these dust storms, thanks again for the super chat. Got the orange, got the yellow. Who's got the red? Anybody got the red? That'll complete the circuit, I think. Yeah, you know, I would rather have a foot of snow if I had my choice. A foot of snow or a dust storm. Foot of snow or a dust storm. And these are what the dust storms look like. Much bigger out here, by the way. I mean, that's big, but I'm saying more dense with regard to sand. Literally gets carried for several miles. And I've seen these walls of dust. They call them haboobs, that can expand for many miles long. If I had my choice, you want to be in a dust storm for 20 minutes or deal with 12 foot of snow? Not 12 foot, I'm sorry, 12 inches. I'll take the 12 inches of snow, absolutely. Not the dust. Oh, it's just awful. Ay, 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 ay. But anyway, that's what's coming towards the U.S., the Caribbean, the Bahamas. In fact, it's got the Caribbean consumed right now. Most of the islands of the Caribbean are dealing with, can you imagine going on vacation down here down here in the Lesser Antilles. Look at how dense that was at some point in time. Reds, that orange, that's pretty dense. That's degree of density. That would just kind of mess up your whole vacation, right? Go down there and wanting to enjoy the beaches of the island, the nice weather and stuff like that. And here comes this big cloud of dust that's traveled thousands of miles to join you on your vacation. Unbelievable. Oh, okay. Thank you, moderator. I got you. I'm going to be hopping off here in 1 minute because I got to go do the UV reading. Actually, we got 5 minutes. I can do the UV reading. You can see my reminder right here. UV reading, because I have a reminder set on my phone to remind me so I don't forget. And I don't want to forget. So I'm going to get the UV reading here in about 5 minutes. It's all good. It is all good. All I got to do is step right out there on the patio. And is it cloudy today? I tell you what, I have been, it's bright and sunny. Bright and sunny. Thank you guys for the super chats and the new Star family members. As always, it is greatly appreciated, and welcome to the family, those of you that are new Star family members. Thank you again for the super chats. Those are always fun. It's nice to see the orange colors over here, the red, the yellows, the greens. Super cool. Love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Who's got the red super chat today? Anybody got the red super chat? That'll complete the circuit. We're going to complete the circuit. We'll wait. We'll wait till later. We can wait till later. Because honestly, in 4 minutes, actually 3 minutes, I got to roll. I got to grab my instruments over there and go outside and measure this UV. When you measure UV, you want to measure at around noon, as close as you can to noon as you can, because that's when the sun in your region, wherever you're at in the world, at high noon, the sun is directly over your head. So that's going to give you the highest UV reading of the day. As the sun is at an angle, whether it's declining into sunset or inclining from sunrise, your UV is going to go up. It's after sunrise. It's going to peak at noon, and then it's going to start to go down as it goes towards the sunset. The reason for that is the different densities of atmospheric presence as the sun climbs and reaches its peak at noon. The atmosphere, ozone is nothing but an oxygen particle, oxygen atom with 3 molecules. It's hanging around up there absorbing UVC. That's what it does. Thankfully, that's its job. Hurricanes' jobs are to move heat from the equator to the polar regions, whether it be the North Pole or the South Pole. They actually have a job. That's why they do what they do. So O3, which is ozone, absorbs the UVC. We don't want to see UVC down here. Now, we have to have a certain amount of UVAB. That's just part of how all this works. I mean, plants wouldn't function very good without a little bit of ultraviolet light. It's the ultraviolet C's that we don't want, and too much UV ultraviolet AB. Sometimes, too much cannot be good. You can get a major sunburn if you're out in the sun too long. So during the summer months, especially in the summer months in the southern hemisphere, peak summer especially at high noon like it is right now, I got to go take the UV readings. Wear a hat when you're outside if you can. If you're going to be out for an extended period of time, obviously. Wear sunglasses. It's always a good idea. Wear long sleeves and wear something light like the dry fit stuff, especially if you're in the desert or if it's in the maximum summertime. Wear white. And it doesn't matter what people think. Wear a white long sleeve shirt. They're going to say, wow, you're wearing a long sleeve. You're going to be cooler. Yes, because you're keeping the sun directly off your skin. The white's going to be reflective. I measured shirts out here one day. I put a black shirt next to a white shirt and had them in the sun. And the white shirt was exponentially cooler than the black shirt because it reflects the light. So that'll keep you cooler. If you're at a pool, wear some decent sunblock that's more natural, or just hang out in the shade. Off and on. Enjoy the pool, of course, but spend a little bit of time in the shade. There's another Chris Wood. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, guys. Team Alaska. Everybody for the super chats. Seriously, it's 12:03, And I got to get out there and take this UV reading before it gets too late, because we're at peak sun right now, right out here in Arizona. So I'm going to hop off here, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me. We'll do it again later. I'm working on some really cool stuff you don't want to miss out on. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.